VCY America presents Crosstalk, a nationwide call-in program discussing issues that have an effect on our families, our communities, our churches, our nation, and our world. Crosstalk, an opportunity for you to voice your concerns for biblical principles. And now live by satellite and around the world on the internet at vcyamerica.org. Here is today's Crosstalk.
And we thank you for joining us on Crosstalk here on VCY America. Just before we introduce our guest and topic, we do want to give a reminder to our listening friends in Ohio and Indiana. It is primary election day, and you've got some very critical issues on the ballot. Ohio, of course, for governor and congressional seats and so forth, and state seats and a lot on the ballot. But just a quick friendly reminder to our listeners in Ohio and Indiana to be a wise steward of that vote, that which is entrusted to you. Cast a prayerful vote today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Islam is ever proliferating across the United States, and this is due in part to immigration from other nations. I was just looking at ChatGPT, and it's believed that between 55 and 60% of Muslims in the United States are immigrants. You know, around 1970, the number of mosques in the U.S. was estimated to be right around 100. By the year 2000, that jumped to 1,200 mosques, and by 2020, that jumped to around 2,800 mosques, a 25-fold increase since 1970. A broader inclusive estimate for 2026 put that number between 3,700 and 4,000 mosques and Islamic centers, and growing. Now, there have been not only the immigration aspect to all of this, but there has been massive public relations campaigns put on using libraries across this country and special outreaches known as Know Your Muslim Neighbor. And now in 2026, beginning this past Sunday, another huge organized outreach as mosques nationwide began hosting National Open Mosque Day. And it's happening in cities across this country beginning May 3rd and continuing on. And many, you just have to ask the question, could this be the Islamizing of America? Well, joining us today to talk on this issue, we welcome back Usama Dakdok, who is the founder of the Straight Way of Grace Ministry. He's the speaker on the Revealing the Truth About Islam. He is also one who speaks fluent Arabic, has translated the Qur'an into English. He is the author of Exposing the Truth About the Qur'an, Exposing the Truth About Jihad, and the booklets The Violent Truth About Islam and The Straight Way to Eternal Life. Usama, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Brother Jim. It's always my joy to be with you and all our wonderful audience.
And I understand you've been ministering in the Phoenix area.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, I believe, it will be my last speaking engagement here.
Okay. Well, Usama, to me, it's just staggering to see this large escalation in the number of mosques that are being established all over the country in such a short period of time. As I mentioned, going back to about 1970, only about 100, and estimates for mosque and Islamic centers today are somewhere between 3,700 and 4,000.
Yeah, worse than that, we did some study just yesterday using top technology with ChatGPT. We discovered that over 300 churches has already converted to mosques in America. It's over 300 churches. That is an alarming number. We're almost going to compete with England because, as you know, majority of mosques in England are before they were a mosque, they were churches.
My. Well, Usama, now we have the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is CAIR, has joined with the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, and they're promoting what they're calling National Open Mosque Day, events in mosques across the country. They're opening their doors to what they say the wider community, inviting people of all faiths and backgrounds, as well as religious, civic, and business leaders to explore and learn about Islam. And Usama, as I mentioned at the outset, this national campaign began this past Sunday, May 3rd. Your thoughts?
Well, they're not actually doing but what we call da'wah, pillar number 6 in Islam. And it is not exploring Islam, but exploring propaganda Islam, hogwash Islam. I mean, think about it. They are holding the stick in the middle to do whatever they want to go with Islam. So, as we're going to see in our program today, that on one hand, they're taking over America, on the other hand, they're inviting the Americans to the mosque. And what are they teaching about Islam? Do you think in that mosque, when they have the open house or inviting the neighbors, I know they're going to have a a big time of drinking coffee and some Egyptian tea or Middle Eastern tea and cookies and real time of laughter, relaxing and enjoying. But when they talk about Islam, do you think they're going to be teaching the people who come to the mosque, accept Islam or we will kill you? You must say the Shahada or we will behead your men to take your women and your daughters as concubines and slaves. And here are the verses of Allah in the Quran. And here is the command of Muhammad in the Hadith. And they will really dig deep into Islam to teach the people who will be inside the mosque the truth about Islam. Or maybe they will smile and say, to you, your religion, and to me, my religion, quoting some abrogated verses in the Quran and go with this hogwash propaganda Islam to make Islam look as wonderful religion. We actually are going to present to you propaganda Islam to make VCY or broadcast look really hateful for telling you lies about Islam. Which way do you think they're going to take that open house and inviting the American people in every mosque in America?
Yeah, indeed, because they talk about being kind and warm and friendly and greeting and so forth.
Let me stop you. Being kind. Show me a verse in the Quran say, be kind. It doesn't exist. Show me a verse in the Quran say, be friendly. I mean, for heaven's sake, it's Quran 5:51. Do not take the Jews and Christians for friends. They're doing what? They're taking Jews and Christians for friends. They're living the opposite of Islam. And that is what we call taqiyya. They are protecting themselves because if the people in that community knows exactly what Muslims believe, what Allah teaches Muslims in the Quran, that is killing the Americans, taking over this country by the edge of the sword, that mosque will be closed tomorrow. You will not have an open house. It will be a shut down mosque. So what you do is they're protecting themselves. How do you protect themselves? Making a propaganda Islam, hogwash Islam for the naive Americans who would enjoy a cup of hot tea or cup of hot coffee with creamer, by the way, if you're interested for hazelnut or French vanilla.
Usama, let me ask you something. Earlier you made remarks to the sixth pillar of Islam, and people will say, hey, I thought there were only 5 pillars of Islam. You said there were more than 5, so comment on that if you would.
Absolutely. They teach our children in our public schools the pillar of Shahada, that is to say, I believe there is no God except Allah, and I believe Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. That says a lie. Why? Because it says, I bear witness that there is no God except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Here, pillar number 1, build on lies. No one can ever bear witness because no one have seen Allah or Muhammad or the rest of the senses which God given us. Pillar number 2, pray 5 times a day. Oh, we're thankful that you're here with us in our mosque today. And by the way, in 15 minutes, we're going to have one of the prayers. Do they tell the American people what they say in the prayer? Oh, they say, Quran chapter 1, which teaches the wrath of Allah is on the Jew, and all Christians are lost, meaning Jews and Christians will burn in hell forever. Do they teach that? Of course not. Then they do talk about fasting, prayer number 3. What do? They eat all night long in the month of Ramadan, and they fast all day long, turning the day to night and the night to day, in consuming 3 more times food in that month than any other month of the year. And they call that fasting. And then zakat, give money for charity. Oh, we love to do charity. No, they're supporting jihadi worldwide, even by American money taken from America. Is that like such money taken from Minnesota to Al-Shabaab in Somalia to kill Christians in many countries in Africa. Pillar number 5, do the Hajj. You visit Mecca 1 time and all your sin is forgiven. All this is just nonsense pillars. Pillar number 6 is very important. Why? Because we're here to invite you to Islam. Please come to Islam. And I have not yet met an American Muslim or an American who convert to Islam, who believe in any truth about Islam, but they believe the loving, peaceful Islam, the respectful Islam for Christians, Jews, the respectful Islam for women, and the rest of the hogwash. But they will never talk about pillar number 7, Brother Jim, because that is the most important pillar. Why? Because in the near future, after we have invited you to Islam and you still say no, we have to perform pillar number 7, the pillar of jihad, which is the most important pillar in Islam. We will invite you, and if you said no, off with your head. That is what some scholars all over the Muslim world today preach and teach, that, yeah, we're going to invite them. If they come politely, nicely, that's fine. If not, we have no option but to perform jihad, killing their men, taking their women and their daughters to be concubines and slaves for us, Muslim believers to raise Muslim generation in America. This is what is coming to America, and I know for sure. I will promise you, Brother Jim, they will never teach any of that. Not in our public schools, not in any mosque. For all those who will be going to drink a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and enjoy having some cookies with the Muslim in these opening houses, opening mosques all over America.
And Usama, you've been with us before, and you've talked about the frog in the kettle. If you put a frog in a hot pot of boiling water, he's going to hop right out right away. But if you put in that very lukewarm water or cool water and gradually increase the temperature, you'll cook that frog and he'll never jump out. And that's what you're saying basically is happening here. Even with these open houses, these open mosque, I should say, is trying to, they're heating up the temperature, and people don't realize this. They say, oh, they're kind, they're friendly, and you mentioned the teas, the cookie, etc. Sure. The library is the same thing. Yeah,
it's any avenue they can. They'd love to come to liberal churches. They'd love to go to libraries. It doesn't matter. Any place they can go, they will do that. Even if you have some wonderful park for people to have fun, they will go there to do the same thing, dawah. Now, here's my challenge. Will they allow me to open the Qur'an and read in any of these meetings any of the over 400 verses in the Quran, which they will not dare to speak up or to speak about or to explain to the American people? I would challenge the Muslims who have in all these open houses to allow me to go and read the small, tiny booklet which is talking about the violence, the truth about the violence, and the truth about how savage Islam is. And just let me read for 10 minutes. Or, you know what? Let me read for 5 minutes. You can talk to the American people for 5 hours. Let me read 5 verses from the Quran. Let's see who's going to win in the end.
Usama, they also have a very interesting theme this year for Open Mosque Day. Their theme is this: one nation under God. And they're emphasizing the place of Muslim communities alongside other communities of faith in American society, the shared values between them. Your comments on this theme, one nation under God?
In Islam, one nation, one ummah, that is the Islamic ummah, not you, whom the wrath of Allah is against, not Christians who are lost. Whoever desire any other religion except Islam, it will not be accepted from him. Quran chapter 3, verse 85. I know they love to quote Quran 2:62, which teach, those who believe, the Jews and the Christians and the Muslims and the Sabians, which are idol worshippers, whoever believe in Allah and in the last day, there is no fear on them. This is what I call hogwash Islam. Why? Go read the interpretation of that verse by all, A-L-L, all Muslim scholars. You will discover that this verse has been abrogated by Quran 3:85. Once again, the final word of Allah teaches no religion will be accepted except Islam. Christianity is rejected. Judaism is rejected. Sabian is rejected. Idol worship is rejected. And by the way, if you will not accept Islam, we have no option but to kill you so we can purify the earth from you. This is the final teaching of Islam. But that's not what you'll be talking about in all such meetings.
Usama Dakdok, our guest today on Crosstalk, and we're discussing the Islamizing of America. And friends, you may not even know this is going on, but it is happening as we speak. All of these gestures, the Know Your Muslim Neighbor Days at the libraries, now the Open Mosque Days that have begun in mosque across the country here on the 3rd day of May. Just past this past Sunday, several mosques were open, more to come as well. And we'll have more to come here on Crosstalk. This is VCY America.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, president of the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, were the Aborigines that were found in Australia a primitive culture?
No, they weren't, Chris. When the British got there, these people had a very intricate culture in language and art, and even their own brand of technology. For instance, Aboriginal stone knives dating from centuries ago had serrated cutting edges. These were only invented in Western culture after the Second World War. There was nothing at all primitive about these early cultures. All people descended from Noah and his family, and they were technical enough to build a huge ship. Cultures do degenerate when they adopt pagan thought, but are not primitive in any evolutionary sense, and that's the back to Genesis truth.
If you want to know more about the creation evolution issue, visit us on the web at www.icr.org. Back to Genesis is a production of the Institute for Creation Research. I'm Chris O'Brien. Thanks for tuning in.
This is Crosstalk on VCY America. With us today, Usama Dakdok, the founder of the Straight Way of Grace Ministry. His ministry website is thestraightway.org. Thestraightway.org. We're talking about the Islamizing of America because, friends, it's underway. It is underway. It has been underway. And you look at the proliferation of mosques that are taking place all across this nation. Emphasize what's going on in Texas right now. We'll get to some issues there in a little bit as well. But they're having Open Mosque Day. People come on into the mosque and get to know them, learn more about their religion. Usama, I see some of the guidelines that they are giving here. It says upon entering the mosque, they have people remove their shoes and also encouraged to dress modestly. Talk about the removal of shoes.
It is to them a holy place, when in reality everything is taught in it is unholy. Mm-hmm. Just to think about the people to be clean and unclean. Yes, Jew and Christian are unclean. That's why we're inviting you there to make you clean by brainwashing you with hogwash Islam. And in the future, maybe if we find out what Islam is really is all about, and if you choose to leave, then we have another thing in Sharia, which is called killing the apostates. By the way, when you go to the mosque, Brother Jim, there will be a nice book there where you put your name, maybe your email or your telephone number. As a visitor, it's like a guest book for everybody to sign in, and that is how they know how many people show up in the mosque, so we can get more money from overseas, so we can build bigger mosques, because we get so many people are interested in Islam in America, and our mosque only can fit 200 people. We need to build a mosque to fit 2,000 people or even more. Yeah. So it's all propaganda, promoting Islam, building more mosques in America, and the American people being naive, and I say again, naive. Yes, they're going to enjoy a cup of coffee, but they're going to lose their freedom. Yes, they're going to enjoy a fake smile of Muslims who are taught to hate us and kill us. Just read the Qur'an, people. Don't take my word for it. By the way, you don't have to read my translation of the Qur'an. Read any other Qur'an you wish. Yusuf Ali, Rashid, Baktullah, whatever. You're going to read in 551. Do not take the Jews and Christians for friends. You're going to read in Quran 9:29. Engage in war with the Jews and Christians who do not believe in Islam. You're going to read in the Quran 47:4. Behead the Jews and the Christians. I mean, it is all over the Quran. We are infidels. Quran 5:72 and Quran 5:73. And these are the verses which I always repeat on our shows, Brother Jim. I can go for another 300 more. Yeah. I'm trying to concentrate on specific verses, specific numbers for people to memorize. If they hear me often enough repeating the same verses, maybe they will learn it. But read the Quran, America, and you know with that we are here to warn you, and they are here to deceive you. And you do whatever you want to do.
I see also that they have designated areas assigned to men, to women, to children.
Sure, because, you see, here we go. Women in Islam is unclean. Not just an infidels are unclean. Women themselves is unclean. If women is not unclean, why women pray separate? In the early days of Islam, women used to pray with men. While Muhammad is leading the imamah, he was in the front pray, men and women standing behind. And then we read in the Quran, some men will go late, Brother Jim, because they have wicked eye, because we have unclean heart, to look at women when they bend. And some people go in the front to look at the women behind, to look at them when they bend. That is before the hijab, before the covering. And then Muhammad learned from Jibreel about that, so Allah gave him new verses that, okay, women pray separate. We Christians do not believe women is unclean. We believe that there is no difference between a Jew and a Gentile, between a man and a woman, between a free and a slave, because we are all one in Christ Jesus. In Islam, women are dirty. If a man touched a woman and he could not find water to do wudu, to do ablution, he rubbed his face and his hand with good dirt, that is clean dirt, that he may be his prayer to be accepted. So the Quran teaches women are dirtier than dirt. But you're going to allow women to walk with men in a mosque, sitting next to each other, standing next to each other to pray together? That is unacceptable. 3 things break the prayer: a woman, a dog, and the voice of a donkey. Welcome to the purity of Islam.
Wow. And yet we have women's groups and those who espouse women's rights that are cozying up to Islam.
I do not know if these people have any logic or common sense and think they're stupid on purpose. I cannot call them naive. Any of these women who believe in women's rights or just believe in human rights, forget about women, human rights. The best right a man or a person can have, it is the right to worship however he want to worship. Now, you must accept Islam or we will kill you. And if you leave Islam in the future, we will also kill you. This is the word of Allah in the Quran. And the word of Muhammad. I mean, it's amazing. Allah and Muhammad in agreement. Whoever leave his religion, so kill him. Whoever that's Muhammad's teaching in the hadith. Whoever leave Islam, he must be put to death as an infidel. That is the word of Allah in the Quran. You cannot tell me there's freedom of religion in Islam, but somehow we're talking about women's rights? How about just human rights, which does not exist in Islam?
You know, also, they're telling individuals who are entering into the mosque, it's in their instructions to, and I'm putting in quotes, embrace a learning mindset. What are they wanting people to learn?
Shut down your brain. Don't think. Don't ask questions, as Allah stated in Quran chapter 5, verse 101. Take my word for it. Believe me, Islam is a loving and a peaceful religion. We love Jesus. We love Moses. We love the Jews. We love the Christian. We worship the same God. There is only few differences between you and us. The deity of Christ and his death and his resurrection, this is not true. That is the corruption which took place in the Bible. And by the way, if that is the only corruption we have in our Bible, who Jesus is and what Jesus did on the cross on our behalf, then you might as well go ahead, throw your Bible in the trash can and say the Shahada while you're there in the mosque.
Usama Dakdok with us today, and also I'm looking at their literature. They state this: let's join hands and spread the warmth of our community, welcoming everyone with open arms. How long does that last, Usama?
Not at all. Let's go to the mosque, and I want to hold the hand next to the Muslim lady in the hijab standing next to me. You know what she do? I'm sorry. She walk away from you. She will literally jump. I go 2-3 feet. Don't touch my hand. Join hand? My foot, Brother Jim. There's no join hand in Islam. And you join hand with the Jews and the Christians? Oh, it is propaganda. The end justifies the means. I'm doing everything I can to convert you to Islam. And you got a good chance to do it peaceably, because otherwise we're going to do it the other way.
Usama, I'm also seeing here that they're looking for individuals to share this through their social media posts, even providing social media graphics and PowerPoint presentations. And, I mean, this is a full public relations blitz.
Brother Jim, in Islam, to make a picture, to put it on any of these places you mentioned, media places, it's sin. It's a crime. If you draw a picture, that picture will be your eternity in hell, because Muhammad stated, if you will not be able to put a spirit in that picture, make it a living thing, you will spend eternity in hell. So I don't know how in the world Muslim America want to use the internet and use media and use pictures and use cartoon and make movies and on with this hogwash, brand new Islam, propaganda Islam, which could maybe work for a good 25, 30, 40 years. When Muslims have the upper hand, that's when the real Islam will show up, the real reform of Islam, to go back to the book, Allah's words and Muhammad's teachings.
Yeah, and they're also, having a campaign, spread the word to the media. They want the media to jump in on this and help promote, their open mosque, and people come in and show how kind and, warm.
How about, Brother Jim, invite Usama Dakdok? They can invite me, my telephone number, 941-223-3698. That's my personal number. I would like to get invitation from any of these mosques, or just write to me, Usama@thestraightway.org. I will quit whatever I'm doing. I will be at the mosque just to talk for 5 minutes. I would love to have 5 minutes in any of these opening houses all over this mosque.
And again, the list of invitees is so extensive. Non-Muslims, Muslims, faith communities, police, school teachers and children, district leaders, imams from other mosques, fire department officials, county officials, women's group leaders, business leaders, homeless center representatives, doctors, dentists. Some of the list goes on.
Everybody but new born-again Christians who know something about Islam. Let me say it again. Everybody is welcome except born-again Christian who knows something about Islam. We've been in these mosques before, and they demand we turn our camera off. and they demand not to ask any question, and they demand we cannot talk, and they call the police on us to remove us from such meetings. Wow, what a great invitation. You are invited, you're welcome. Just don't forget, leave your brain outside the door of the mosque and convert to Islam, but don't you dare ask a question. Don't have any objection to anything you hear, because just trust us, we're telling you the truth. And by the way, in all these meetings, they will only quote abrogated verses from the Quran. They will never read the final word of Allah in the Quran or the teaching of Muhammad in the Hadith. And if we quoted them, they will throw us out of the building.
Well, friends, again, we bring this to your attention because it just happened this past Sunday and is continuing through May and is a promotion that is going nationwide. Open Mosque Day. Their theme is One Nation Under God. And Usama, I think it's also important to point out that we do not all worship the same God. The God of Islam is not Jehovah God.
Absolutely, Brother Jim. Allah is Satan. If people want to put Jesus out of their life and worship the God of this world, Quran chapter 1, verse 1, yeah, they can go and enjoy the visit and become a Muslim. But we don't worship the same God. You could not find one verse, one statement written by any Muslim scholar to say, Ummat al-Islam, the nation of Islam, to be Jews and Christian and somebody else, not Muslims. Only Muslims are the nation of Islam. This is the deepest hogwash I've ever heard in my life.
As we turn from this Open Mosque Days, Usama, I know also the campaigns are continuing in libraries across the country to know your Muslim neighbors. And I went to the American Library Association website, and they themselves are promoting this. I mean, they have put forth a paper from the ALA that libraries look to them all across the country, and they have a case study, Meet Your Muslim Neighbors. Libraries are safer spaces. Meet your Muslim neighbors. So we know Muslims have been using libraries to get to know your Muslim neighbors and put out, some food that will be compatible for people to and they share all this information but using the libraries, and now we have the Library Association themselves, putting forth a paper about how to use the library in such cases.
Yeah, and when Usama Dakdok, the Straight Wave Grace Ministry, tried to use the same room in our library, which was built by our tax money. It's our room. It is our building. Brother Jim, large majority of Muslims in America are not taxpayer, as Bush lied to us and told us after September 11. They are tax drainers. They're here to drain us. They are on warfare. But we, the American people, who pay the taxes, who build the library, cannot use the same room. I mean, they've been challenging me in Minnesota and other places all over this country that they no longer will allow me to rent the room. I am willing to pay the money for it. No, they will give me a small room which only fits 8 or 10 people. But the big room which fits 70 or 100, no. This is not available for me. It is a no. So Muslims can have the library, and I guarantee you for free. But the Straight Wave Grace Ministry cannot have the same room, even though we are willing to pay for it. By the way, the same thing is happening all over our school auditorium. They allow the Muslim to use it, but they will not allow the Christian to use it. And we have great long stories.
We'll be right back, folks. James 4:14 poses this thought. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. Have you ever stopped to consider where you will spend eternity? You may say, but I'm a good person. I care for my family. I feed the poor. I stand up for life and traditional values. While all of these things are good, they fall far short of God's standard. Every one of us has a sin issue that must be dealt with. Our sin separates us from God, and each of us deserves to be eternally removed from God in everlasting punishment. But out of God's great love, He sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to bear our sins, shed His blood, die on the cross, and rise again. He is the only way of salvation, and it's imperative for you to place your trust in Him. If you're wrestling with this issue, we'd like to send you a complimentary leaflet, Where Will You Spend Eternity? To receive a copy, just ask for it when you call us at 1-800-729-9829. 800-729-9829. You're listening to Crosstalk on VCY America. Usama Dakdok is our guest today. And friends, we're talking about the Islamizing of America. And it's really a great public relations campaign that's making its way through the country. It's happened in the libraries, and a number of libraries hosting the Know Your Muslim Neighbor Days, and pamphlets and brochures going out, things on the library bulletin boards. And now it's Open Mosque Days that are taking place, inviting communities into the mosque as well. And I actually have this document from the American Library Association where they do this case study. And here's what they say at the end. They say this on the American Library Association website. The happiest outcome was hearing so many people ask, when will you have another event like this? We're delighted that our Muslim neighbors are hosting a Visit Your Muslim Neighbors event. And they mentioned that this time the Kalamazoo Islamic Center. Guests will be treated to a wonderful home-cooked feast and are welcome to attend evening prayers.
Brother Jim, my heart is broken. The same useful idiots in the library will not allow us to use the same building. As I was sharing earlier, we run out of time because we went through the break. In a high school, we've discovered some liberal ministers work with CAIR to remove me from using the school auditorium. And they said, we have a problem that we allow everybody to use this auditorium. We should only allow Muslims, but not people hateful to Muslims and Islam like the straightway Usama Dakdok. This is how terrible it is that the school work with the Muslims, and sadly some liberal ministers work with the Muslims to remove us from the school or to remove us from the library. This is the reality.
We're going to talk about Texas in just a moment, but Usama, you, as I mentioned earlier, you are in the greater Phoenix area right now, and I understand you are speaking tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is that correct?
Yes, this is the last meeting we have here, Lord's willing.
Okay, it's the West Coast Watchman Coalition, and Usama speaking. If you're in the Phoenix area, tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m., the doors open, and the event starts at 6, and it'll go till about 9:15, but it's a meeting at the Palm Valley Community Center in Goodyear, Arizona. That's tomorrow, Wednesday, May the 6th, and again, it's the West Coast Watchman Coalition meeting, and it's being held at the Palm Valley Community Center in Goodyear. Doors open at 5:30. The event starts at 6. It will go till about 9:15 local time, and you are invited out for that event tomorrow evening. So, Greater Phoenix area, just wanted to make you aware of that. And friends, Usama travels around the country, and if you'd like him to come to your area, how can they do that, Usama?
It's very simple. One call. It is 941-223-1703. Once again, 941-223-1703. They can make one phone call, and we will be scheduling for their area, Lord's willing.
Okay. Well, as we talk about this, what's going on with Islam and the Islamicizing of our nation, Usama, it's just coming out this week. I had one of our listeners email this to me, and then I started getting this from our different news services as well. And this takes us to the state of Texas. We'll get to Epic City in just a moment, but there is a tax-funded Texas water park, a taxpayer-funded water park in Texas that is announcing a Muslims-only day that's going to require a dress in accordance with Islamic values, and they're only going to serve halal. But this is Epic Waters in Grand Prairie, Texas, has released flyers for a June 1st event celebrating a major Muslim holiday called Eid al-Adha. The event will require modest dress code, solely serving halal slaughtered meat. This is Epic Waters. It's funded by an additional sales tax on the Grand Prairie residents, essentially resembling a hardcore Islamist country rather than the state of Texas, they write. And they're told that attendees will have to uphold Islamic etiquette by lowering the gaze throughout the day. And Usama, they've got, I see a full flyer here, and it's their third annual Dallas-Fort Worth Epic Eid event at the Epic Indoor Park.
Yeah, first of all, Brother Jim, they started by saying Muslim only because the media and some people start speaking against this. Oh, anybody can come. But here is, we give you some pictures of how you should be dressed. You should be dressed like a woman. I'm amazed, Brother Jim. Muslims come to America to enjoy the freedom and the liberty and everything about America. But in the same time, they want to make America like where they come from. They want to practice Islam in America, but in the same time, they talk about the propaganda Islam in America, which is the opposite of Islam. I got two simple facts I would like to share with these Muslims. First of all, listen to your Prophet Muhammad. According to Aisha, who taught us, do not let women into all the rooms in your own home. In your own home, you don't move from one room to another. Sit in one room in a corner and be quiet. And do not teach them how to write. Teach them to spin and recite Surah Al-Nur, that's Quran chapter 24. What is it about? This is about women do not move everywhere in the house, Brother Jim. They stuck in one room in the house, and that's the end of it. Now, if you go with me to Quran chapter 33 and verse 33, you get to learn something even newer about women. That is Allah's word in the Quran. Not the hadith or somebody say, well, maybe it's a weak hadith. Here's what Allah said in Quran 33. And stay in your houses. Allah speaking to the women of the Prophet, the wives of the Prophet, the most noble example for each and every one of these women in Texas to follow. Do not display yourself like the display of the first ignorant. Now, I do not know what, I looked at the interpretation of the scholars of Islam. It goes in huge different contradictions. But here is the teaching of Islam. Don't leave your homes, stay in your homes, and don't you dare show your hair except your husband. So that is Islam, and they want to force that on us in America. I would encourage every woman close to this water park to go into the water park. I don't want one Christian or one Jew or one atheist, one American to wear the hijab or the burqa, but to go as they always go to the park. It will be a nice, hot, warm day. Wear your clothes, which you swim in that park the day before and the day after. Do not cover your head for men to not look at you. The problem, Brother Jim, is not in the women dressed bikini or dressed in modern swimming clothes or dressed in hijab. The problem in the evil looks of the eyes, the Muslim man's eye. You can go to any beach in America, Brother Jim, and you see women in bikini. And you will never see one of these women in bikini being raped by American men. But most likely, as we see it all over Europe, it will be raped by a Muslim man, not an American or European man. The problem is in the heart of the Muslim man. It is in the eye of the Muslim man. And the Bible clearly teaches adultery is not having sex with the opposite sex. If you are not married to her, adultery is to look with lust in your heart. Look by your eyes and lust in your heart. You commit adultery. But in Islam, you can live in adultery. And the proof is you can have 4 women at the time as wives, an unlimited number of concubines and slaves, including women who are married to men. If you capture a woman and you know she is married, you can rape her. Quran chapter 4 and verse 24. The problem is in the immoral teaching of the Quran and the immoral teaching of Muhammad. Islam is the problem, not the American people who should go and enjoy that warm day in that water park like they always do.
Yeah, and at the same time, I do want to promote the fact that we believe in modesty in all aspects as well, and we are not promoting a certain dress in what is the culture of our day as such, but even to expose one's hair on the top of their head is in violation of Islam. And Usama, one of the other things I want to point out here is this is scheduled from 3 to 8 p.m., and they said halal food and even a private prayer area. So
halal food. Do you know that camel meat is halal food in Islam? That is the first animal the Bible rejects for being eaten by the Jews. It is very, very forbidden in Judaism to eat camel meat, but in Islam it's halal food. What halal? This is hogwash propaganda. Yeah. Do you know the Muslims have halal coffee and halal clothes and halal beans and halal everything? They're just forcing themselves on us and forcing the Sharia on us, trying to make America a Muslim country. They're Muslimizing America. It's not about halal food, but obviously the place to pray, because guess what, Brother Jim? Muslims pray one time on that park, and that park became a mosque. It is a Muslim land. This is how Muslims invade any land. One time you pray in a place, a church or synagogue or some park or some club or some school, guess what? It became a mosque. It became a Muslim land.
Another issue in Texas, and that is Epic City from the East Plano Islamic Center. And now, this, according to CAIR News, a Texas judge says the agency must comply with an agreement made with Plano area Muslim development. Usama, I've got just a brief clip here in regard to Epic City. Let's listen and we'll have you comment.
402 acres of beautiful scenery. Welcome to the future of living. Welcome to Epic City. Nestled in the heart of Josephine, Texas. It is about 20 miles and 20 minutes from Epic.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Welcome to Epic 2.0. Epic City is more than just a neighborhood. It's a way of life, a meticulously designed community that brings Islam to the forefront, a community that blends with nature, crafted to elevate your living experience.
Yeah, I'm going to just stop it there, Usama, because time is of the essence here. But, the big PR campaign promoting this Muslim development here, this Epic City 2.0, and now we have a judge saying you must advance this.
Sure, and it will be built. I said that from the beginning, Epic City will be built, and the reason I said that is because I saw the governors and the politicians in Florida and Texas, same way, they're doing the wrong thing. They are fighting the evil, savage Islam by political correctness. I reached out. We tried many ways to talk to the governor, to talk to Ted Cruz, to talk to some of the politicians who was doing this fighting, to say, we can help you to do it right. You're doing it wrong. You're going to fail miserably. We could not stop the building of one mosque in America. Even Ground Zero Mosque is still a mosque. It's a 4-story high instead of a bigger building. So they respond to us, oh, you are from Missouri. You need to contact and talk with your Senator Josh Hawley. They are so ignorant, so arrogant. They don't know that they need me. I don't need them. But you cannot fight this movement all over America by political correctness. You have to fight it with the real thing. If you have a lump on your body and it is a cancer and you name it something else, you don't name it cancer, that lump will kill you. This is exactly how we should stop the Islamization of America. You cannot do it with political correctness, Brother Jim. You have to call for what it is. We have a problem with Islam. We have a problem with Allah. We have a problem with the Qur'an. We have a problem with Muhammad. You cannot build a mosque, not only a city, you cannot even build a mosque in America. If we know our Constitution and if we know what Islam is all about.
Usama Dakdok with us today. Friends, we need another hour, but we're down to just one segment left of the program, and I'm opening our phone lines. If you have a question you'd like to ask of our guest here today, our telephone number to Crosstalk is 800-733-9829. A question or a brief comment. We have more information to give, but here's your opportunity to get engaged with the program. 800-733-9829. This is Crosstalk coming your way from VCY America.
For the Worldview Report, I'm Brandon House. Our website's worldviewtube.com. Over the weekend, I was studying Romans chapter 1, but I was also studying Daniel chapter 4, where Nebuchadnezzar, due to his pride, he is forewarned by Daniel, repent, I don't want this to happen to you. But he wouldn't. A year later, after being warned, God causes Nebuchadnezzar to become like a wild animal, grazing on grass. In fact, Romans chapter 1, verses 21 to 23 speaks of this. They have become fools. That means vain, useless, or futile in their nature. And they have taken the glory of the incorruptible God and turned it into an image made like corruptible man. And they worship what? Birds and four-footed animals and creeping things. You know what I found interesting? That's exactly what Nebuchadnezzar was doing. Now we have so many people identifying as animals today, or as furries, or what they are calling people that practice what is known as Therians. Is this part of God's judgment?
You're listening to Crosstalk on VCY America. Usama Dakdok with us today. Lines are packed. We'll get to your calls momentarily, but we're talking about the Islamicizing of the United States of America. And friends, we've just scratched the surface talking about these Open Mosque days and what the libraries are doing. And now we have this water park in Texas. And I could go on to talk about California introducing legislation recognizing official Islamic days as part of the state. Arkansas, it's reported here by the Independent Sentinel that Governor Huckabee of Arkansas declared April Arab American Heritage Month. We've got there's World Hijab Day at the Epic Sharia Hub in Texas. These Islamic Center of Little Rock, Arkansas, a massive new mega mosque and a full-time academy, gym, pool, athletic fields that are opening this year, and then also the city-approved New Africa Sharia residential enclave, 22 homes, multiple mosques, an Islamic school, a clinic, every buyer forced to sign an enforceable Quranic bill of assurance, no alcohol, strict moral codes, a mosque-controlled homeowners association in perpetuity, and on it goes. We've got Greg calling from Minnesota. Greg, you're on the air.
Thank you. Hey, first of all, Usama, I'd like to thank you for your ministry. I have a comment and a question. I don't know if you're aware of that. I think it's 2 schools in Minnesota. One is they're having a prayer room, Islamic prayer room, and another is a foot washing room.
Foot washing, yes.
But my question is for Usama is, are you going to be in Minnesota anytime soon?
Lord is willing, in July, Lord is willing, I will be in Minnesota. And actually, I'm going to also be in Wisconsin.
Great. Thank you, Greg. And,
Sure.
You can always follow up with the website.
Brother Jim, you cannot have a small room in any school to have a Christian chaplain place for believers, to Christian students to go and read the Bible, or Christian teacher. But you must allow Muslims to do that. It is unbelievable. The bias for the Muslims, especially in liberal states or even liberal counties in conservative states. The liberals are giving it to the Muslims right and left.
Okay, let's go to Demas in Phoenix. You're on the air.
Do you say Demis?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to ask Osama if Arabs ever baptize in water by immersing?
Do Arabs do Arabs baptize by immersion?
Only Christian churches, believers, absolutely. But Muslims do not have anything to do with baptism. They have nothing to do with these practice of our Christian faith.
Thank you for the call. Let's go to Gary next in Mesa, Arizona. And Gary, you're on the air.
Yeah, I would like to know if does he have a book that explains topically by topic things that are in the Quran? For example, do you have Jerusalem as a topic and go through the surahs where that's mentioned, or some other topic like they talk about Jesus?
Okay, a topical guide. Do you have a topical guide?
The 2-volume book, brother, exposing the truth about the Quran, the revelation of error, are actually 41 chapters to talk about almost all the stories, start from creation and end with Muhammad. 2-volume books, the exposing the truth about the Quran, the revelation of error.
And you can find that at thestraightway.org. And do you have copies with you for those who come out to Phoenix tomorrow?
Yes, we will have plenty of books here as well.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Gary. We've got Stanley calling in from Bronx, New York. Stanley, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. I want to thank you guys for this program. I live in a Spanish community, and there's a few mosques around, and they're actually doing good stuff by giving food pantries. We're doing other stuff, but nobody knows what the cover-up is. But when I'm hearing you guys with this information, it's giving me great joy to let me know where I'm standing and how I can better educate myself, and I can tell the others who are not aware of it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, and I pray that God continues to give you guys more wisdom so you guys could share the truth.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you. And Usama, you talked about, Muslims are doing good things and giving out food.
Yeah, absolutely. Muslims would do great things you couldn't even find in the church near you. Your own home church maybe will not do half of what the Muslims are doing. All this what we call propaganda. They're charitable right now to reach out to the Americans. They're charitable tomorrow to take your money to kill your brothers in America and your Christian families all over the world, as they always do. The best way to spend money, it is to perform jihad with. That is what Muslims do. But they are so deceptive. Don't forget that Allah said He is the best deceiver. So that is the opening door. Welcome Islam in America with the deception of Allah and Muslim believers.
We have Sarala. Is it Ashtabula, Ohio?
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The word imam, what does that mean? And what is the requirement to become imam? Is that part of a Sharia law?
Okay.
No, imam is the person who leads the Muslim in the mosque. So if you ever go to the mosque on their prayer, you see one guy by himself in the front, and then Muslims stand up in straight lines, one after another. The guy in the front, that is imam. Imam means leader. He leads the Muslim prayer. This has nothing. I mean, of course, everything in Islam have tied to Sharia, because Sharia cover all aspects of Muslims' life, including the prayer, including who can do the imamah, who can be the imam. But it is no specific education. A Muslim believer can be in the front, like in our churches, a deacon or an elder can lead the worship in the church and lead the prayer in the church. You don't have to be the imam, does not have to be the sheikh of the mosque, but any person. But most likely, he will be the pastor of the church, which is called the sheikh of the mosque. He will be the imam and lead the prayer. But anybody else can also lead the prayer in the mosque.
Thank you for the call. Randy is next in Cookeville, Tennessee. You're on the air.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
We're fine.
Doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Hey, I heard a while back that Usama was going to come to the Cookeville, Tennessee area, and I hadn't heard anything else about it, and I was wondering if he's still going to come to the Cookeville, Tennessee area or around the close Kentucky area so we can go see him.
We have talked about coming, but time did not work because I was speaking in Oregon and other places in the West Coast. But I am still willing to come to Tennessee, and once again, we're just one call away.
Yeah, give them a call. We'll give the phone number. Thank you for the call. Usama, give the phone number where people can call and inquire about your coming.
Sure, 941-223-1703, 941-223-1703. That is the number to call to schedule speaking engagement.
Okay, friends, and I'm sorry we're out of time. I apologize to others on hold here as well, but so much to cover here, and we've just scratched the surface. Usama, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Brother Jim. God bless you both.
And friends in Phoenix, you can hear them tomorrow night. If you want to reach out to them, 941-223-1703. God bless you, friends. Thanks for joining us today on Crosstalk.
You've been listening to Crosstalk via satellite and the internet from VCY America. Views expressed may or may not be those of this station. For a CD of today's program, send a donation of $6 or more to VCY Tape Ministry, 3434 West Kilbourne Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53208. Or download by RSS or podcast from crosstalkamerica.com. And join us again for Crosstalk.